Looks like I've got work to do. And this time, I have help.
At E3 a couple weeks ago, Nintendo revealed that Cadence of Hyrule would be available that week. And of course, it was a crazy week to launch a game if you happen to be a game reviewer. So it took me a little while before I could actually get some real time with Cadence of Hyrule. It's also a kind of a fusion and a hybrid with Crypt of the NecroDancer. Both of these games developed by Brace Yourself Games out of Vancouver. I freaking adored Crypt of the NecroDancer, so when I heard that this was going to be a fusion of the Zelda music and the Zelda sort of game style and gameplay with the music and rhythm-based mechanics of Crypt of the NecroDancer, I, for one, was freaking overjoyed. I love Zelda and I love Crypt of the NecroDancer, and I thought this peanut butter and chocolate collection was gonna be dope. And you know what? It is. It's absolutely crazy freaking cool. First of all, I love the art style of this Zelda game. It's a 2D Zelda experience that sort of is a harken back to classic Zelda games, the sort of top-down ones. And it's made with a ton of little detail and the little sprite work and all of the little animations that are happening, all of the different monsters and stuff that kind of, everybody's dancing, right? That's the whole thing here, is you're fighting and you're getting into combat situations and you're dealing with enemies, and sometimes you're surrounded by threats, but everybody's boogieing. So it's charming. Even when it kills you 7 billion times, which is what happens in this game because you have to have the rhythm to deal with these enemies appropriately, and that means kind of going around them while you're dancing, sort of moving from one block to another in a stylish way and striking them as you kind of memorize their moves to the rhythm. And that becomes a little tricky because especially for somebody that's been playing Zelda games for as long as I have and top-down Zelda experiences for as long as I have, you have all of this muscle memory of how you're supposed to play a Zelda game, but you have to throw that aside because it's a whole different mechanic here. You have to contend with the fact that everything has to have a reason. Every strike, every move has to have a reason. And if you break the rhythm, you're kind of defenseless. You're going to get attacked. You're going to get swiped by some white wolfo or something like that, or some giant mushroom that's going to expand and put some weird cloud of dust around you, or you might get frozen or burned. All kinds of calamities befall both Link, and here's another wonderful thing about this game. You can also play as Zelda, and you can also play cooperatively, and there's lots of threads with the Crypt of the NecroDancer universe as well. This game is just sheer enjoyment. It's adorable. You're going to have to give it a little bit of patience, though, because it is tricky, and one of the things that I think we all do as Zelda fans is we do a little exploration and then we head from one of the dungeons, and there's dungeons in here that you want to beat, but I think the secret to the success in this game is to explore every nook and cranny of the map, and the map is very different from the way that they've done a lot of maps in the past. Basically, you have a lot of it unlocked for yourself, and you can get to different places. You can go to these different Sheikah stones and warp to them, and it will also heal you. So you want to try to traverse as much of the map as you possibly can, maybe get into some mini boss fights, maybe drop a bomb in the appropriate area and to find a secret little room or a chamber that's going to give you a power up like a hook shot or, some better armor or bow and arrow, and then start to attack these dungeons. Because once you get into the dungeons, all bets are off, and it's all randomized. This is a roguelike, so you're gonna have to get as far as you can with the one kick at it that you can, but one thing you can do, like in every Zelda adventure, is add some hearts to your health meter up there. So that's the other thing that you can do when you're exploring the map, is try to find pieces of hearts so that you have a lot of health before you jump into these dungeons. And once you die in the dungeons, you gotta start again, and you gotta try it again, and you gotta try it again. That can get a little bit frustrating, and frankly, that's where I was for a big chunk of time. And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna go off into the world here a little bit more and try this again. And then I got my groove on, and this game charmed me all over again. So I'm coming away from Cadence of Hyrule completely floored by this experience and the abundant creativity that's on display. I think this was a very odd marriage between Brace Yourself and Nintendo, and I think Spike Chunsoft is in there as well. I don't know how the hell this happened. I just am super happy that it did happen. I freaking adore this game, and if you're a Zelda fan, or if you've been sort of curious about Crypt of the NecroDancer, or you happen to be a huge fan of Crypt of the NecroDancer, don't sleep on this one. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10.